I was 41 years old when I found my husband's second phone hidden inside the garage toolbox. At first, I thought it belonged to one of his workers. By midnight, I realized my entire marriage had been fake. Hey everyone, welcome back to. If you enjoy emotional betrayal stories, family drama, and powerful revenge endings, subscribe now and turn on notifications because today's story gets darker with every minute. This story started on a rainy Tuesday evening. My husband Daniel had always been obsessed with keeping the garage organized. Nobody was allowed to touch his tools, not me, not our son, not even the cleaning lady. So when I went looking for a flashlight during a power outage, I immediately noticed something strange. Inside the bottom drawer of the red toolbox, underneath old paperwork and cables, was a black iPhone wrapped in a cloth. At first, I honestly thought it was broken or old, but when I pressed the power button, the screen lit up instantly, no password. And the first notification that appeared made my stomach twist. Miss you already? Last night was perfect. My heart literally stopped. I remember standing there frozen while rain slammed against the garage door behind me. For a second, I tried convincing myself there had to be another explanation. Maybe it belonged to a friend. Maybe it was work-related. Maybe. Then another message popped up. And did she suspect anything? I felt cold all over. Daniel and I had been married for 17 years. We had a 14-year-old son together. We owned a beautiful house in the suburbs, family vacations every summer, holiday photos, matching pajamas at Christmas, the kind of marriage people online would call perfect. But lately, Daniel had changed. He guarded his phone constantly, started going to the gym every evening, bought expensive cologne out of nowhere, and suddenly cared way too much about looking young again. I ignored all of it because I trusted him. That night, while he showered upstairs, I locked myself in the bathroom and opened the hidden phone again. What I found destroyed me. Hundreds of messages, photos, hotel bookings, voice notes. There wasn't just one woman, there were three different affairs. And the worst part, he talked about me like I was some annoying obstacle ruining his freedom. One message said, "She's too busy being a mom to notice anything." I actually had to cover my mouth to stop myself from crying out loud. For years, I had supported this man through everything. When his business nearly failed, I worked double shifts. When his father died, I stayed beside him every night. When he wanted to start over in another city, I agreed without hesitation. And this was how he saw me, a burden. That night, I didn't confront him. I stayed quiet. And honestly, that silence became my greatest weapon. Over the next 2 weeks, I became the version of myself Daniel least expected. Calm, observant, patient. I copied every message from the phone. I emailed evidence to myself. I printed hotel receipts, screenshots, and conversations. I even discovered he had been secretly spending money from our joint account on luxury gifts for one of the women. That part made me furious, but I still stayed calm. Because I learned something important. Angry people make mistakes. Quiet people collect power. One Friday afternoon, Daniel announced he had a business conference for the weekend. I smiled and told him to enjoy himself. The second he left the house, I followed him. My hands were shaking so badly while driving that I almost missed the freeway exit. He didn't go to any conference. He drove straight to a luxury hotel downtown. And when I saw him kissing another woman near the entrance, something inside me permanently broke. I took photos, videos, everything. Then I drove home in complete silence. That night, I sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at our wedding picture for almost an hour, 17 years gone. But the next morning, I stopped crying. Because sadness slowly turned into clarity. I called a lawyer on Monday, and what she told me changed everything. Because Daniel had used joint finances for his affairs and hidden money during our marriage, the evidence could heavily impact the divorce settlement. Suddenly, all those screenshots mattered. Every lie mattered. Every hotel receipt mattered. For the next month, I acted completely normal. I cooked dinner, watched movies with him, even laughed at his jokes, and the entire time, he had no idea I was preparing to destroy the fantasy life he built behind my back. Then came our anniversary dinner. Daniel reserved a table at an expensive rooftop restaurant. He gave me flowers, smiled for photos, pretended to be the perfect husband. Meanwhile, I had a folder inside my purse containing every piece of evidence. Halfway through dinner, he raised his wine glass and said, "To many more years together." I looked him directly in the eyes. Then I slid the folder across the table. His smile disappeared instantly. He opened it slowly. The color drained from his face, page by page. Photos, messages, hotel receipts, bank statements, screenshots. Every lie stacked neatly in front of him. He looked around nervously and whispered, "Please, not here." And for the first time in weeks, I finally spoke honestly. "You should have thought about that before humiliating me behind my back." He started panicking immediately, claiming it meant nothing, saying he loved me, begging me not to leave. But the most unbelievable part? He cried more about losing the house and money than losing me. That told me everything. I stood up calmly, placed my wedding ring on the table, and walked away while he sat there completely shattered. People in the restaurant stared as he called my name, but I never looked back. The divorce became ugly fast. Daniel tried blaming stress, then midlife crisis, then depression, then somehow blamed me for not giving him attention. But the evidence buried him, especially the financial records. In the end, I kept the house, primary custody of our son, and most importantly, my self-respect. The women he cheated with disappeared almost immediately once his money problems started. Funny how that works. A year later, Daniel was living alone in a small apartment across town. Meanwhile, my life slowly became peaceful again. I started exercising, lost weight, made new friends, and for the first time in years, I felt emotionally free. One evening, my son looked at me during dinner and said something I'll never forget. "Mom, so you smile more now." That sentence hit me harder than anything else, because I realized how unhappy I had become without noticing. Sometimes betrayal doesn't destroy you. Sometimes it wakes you up. Today, I'm 43 years old, stronger, wiser, and no longer afraid to walk away from disrespect. If someone truly loves you, they won't make you feel small while secretly destroying your trust behind closed doors. And if they do betray you, never lose your dignity, trying to keep them. Some relationships are lessons, not forever. If this story touched you, comment below. What would you have done? And if you enjoy emotional revenge stories like this one, subscribe to Behind Dad for more powerful, real-life inspired stories every week. Remember, the strongest revenge is not screaming. It's rebuilding your life so beautifully that their betrayal no longer controls your happiness. Stay strong.